Here we present a number of parts of sample records to illustrate a variety of responses to the children's apperception test. They are not selected for particular successfulness, but rather in order to show difficulties and subtleties of interpretation. Case number 1. Subject: 3-year-old 11-month male. Poor socioeconomic situation. The subject was easily approached in a playground and asked to play a picture game. Subject seemed a little indecisive about going out or coming with the examiner. A short period observed in the outdoor playground showed him to feel ill at ease, although not shy. 3 stories of his record will be presented.
Bear, kitty cat, rope man, big bear, and he gets so big.
What is he doing?
He came to visit the people. A pipe man that lives in a house. He's taking his clothes off.
Why?
Because he has no clothes. He threw all his clothes away. He don't want no clothes. No pants, no socks, no shoes.
What does he want?
He wants to have a lot of hair around him.
What's he doing?
He's sitting in a dirty chair with no clothes on. Bunny rabbit. You see this bunny? He's in his bed, and the other bunny rabbit is way upstairs. He took the stuff and came home, and he said he may put another bunny up in the house. He ran upstairs and came right back down, and the father bear came out from the basement and saw a rabbit run upstairs. Go upstairs to your bed.
After analyzing the data, story number 2 is certainly a very meager one. All that attracts attention is the big bear who got so big, which by itself surely barely deserves any speculation. Story number 3, however, demonstrates repeatedly that the subject rejects the clothing, wants to sit in a dirty chair with no clothes on. This would indicate a wish to regress to an earlier stage. Still, we have no idea why. Then, in picture number 9, the most manifest clue is contained in the fact that the bunny may put another bunny up the house. This definitely sounds as though the subject is preoccupied with another baby coming into the house. Those psychoanalytically trained will be able to see a symbolic restatement of this thought in the running upstairs and the father bear coming out of the basement, coupled with an apparent memory of being told to go to bed, perhaps in connection with some sexual activity. Our assumption now may find some corroboration in the brief reference in story number 2, the big bear who got so big, which may refer to the mother's pregnancy. Then we can understand his regression pattern in the story number 3 in relation to the arrival of the rival. These were the conclusions we arrived at on blind analysis of these stories. We had occasion to consider further the subject's statement that the hero wants to have a lot of hair around him. The inference one could make is that he has compared himself to the father and wants to have hair on the chest and in the pubic area also. Outstanding among the behavioral problems as reported by the teacher was the fact that the subject explored his little girl playmates with a great deal of interest. This record can serve as an example of relatively poor returns in a small child, wherein each story by itself is quite disappointing unless and until one can bring each story in meaningful relation to the others. Nevertheless, the usefulness of the children's apperception test in this case becomes quite clear. The teacher and social worker know that he was a behavioral problem with excessive sexual interest in little girls. Our test relates his behavioral difficulties to rivalry with a sibling-like figure and a preoccupation with procreation. Having established these relationships, it should be relatively simple to discuss this with the child apropos of his stories. That he must be angry about the new arrival, must wonder where babies come from, etc. At the same time, the social worker might attempt to decrease his sexual stimulation by whatever means the circumstances might permit, and instruct the mother about handling him.